What's up, guys? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is currently 7:15 a.m. Wednesday morning, April the 30th, the 2025th year of our Lord. And I am sitting in the driveway waiting on my helper to get over here. He'll be here probably about 45 minutes. I had to get things straightened out. I had to put air in both tires, man. I got a roofing nail in one tire and thought I had a couple of plugs left, but I can't find them. So I might have to stop at the store and get a plug kit to plug a tire on the 61. And also I have got a slow leak in the 36, the right tire in the 36, and I just noticed it Sunday when I came out here to do maintenance on the mowers. I was checking the deck height and everything, or not deck height, deck pitch and everything was way off. When you check your deck pitch, first thing you do is, if it's off, the first thing you do is check your tire pressure, because that will greatly affect your cutting height. But so I checked the tire pressure and there was zero pressure in the right tire. So I put air in it and came out Monday morning, checked it again, zero pressure. And I keep 20 pounds of pressure in all my tires. And but again, Monday morning there was zero pressure in it. And pumped it back up, used it Tuesday, there was zero pressure in it Tuesday, and again this morning zero pressure in it. So I'm gonna try to find this leak. If I've got a little small hole, I'm gonna plug it. If not, if I can't find a leak, I'm gonna use fix a flat or slime or something like that to get me through. But I've got quite a few hours left on these tires, and I'm not ready to discard them yet. But if it keeps giving me trouble, I just do what I have to do. But yeah, guys, got a few on the list today. Got some new customers on the list. 2 of them are overgrown. One of them bushes and everything's got to be done. I got 2 things I want to talk about, man. Actually, 3 things I want to talk about. No, just 2. I'm sorry. Just 2 things I want to talk about. Let's see if I can find this thing. I guess my give me just a second, guys. Sorry, guys. I guess my helper threw it in the trash. I can't find it, but we got to a property yesterday. We got there and just picked this customer up at the beginning of this year, and there was a door hanger on the front door. And without saying anything, my helper just went up there and ripped it off the door and handed it to me. And I stuck it in the truck and was looking at it whenever we got back in the truck to leave the property. And at the very bottom of there's nothing wrong with them charging what they're charging. They're decent prices, but there was a phone number on there. That was it. It wasn't a website, wasn't an email address or anything like that. But at the very bottom of the door hanger, it said, check out our Google reviews. And I got to thinking, I could be wrong on this, but can you Google a business just by looking up their phone number? I'm just curious, for one. And for two, put your company name and logo on your door hangers, guys. Always do that. That way people know who you are. They don't have to call and find out, or Google it and find out who you are. It was kind of odd to me, but Buster Davis said it was probably some Chuck in the truck. And I tend to agree. It's probably Chuck, but who knows, man. But what do you guys do when y'all see door hangers on your customers' doors, or a business card on their mailbox? Do y'all take it off and trash it? What do y'all do? Just curious, man. We took this off. I was gonna make a video about it, but I guess my helper threw it in the trash. Oh well, no big deal. And second, man, I've got a property today, and I emailed everybody last night letting them know that we were coming. And a lot of the people that I have right now are year-round customers, and they pay monthly. And had a customer reach out to me last night, asked me, he did this to me 2 weeks ago, and I went ahead and did it because he's a good customer, and I did it to help him out. And but he's got a lot of poa annua in his yard, and the fertilizer company, weed and fertilizer company that he's using, told him that the guy that cuts his grass is probably tracking weeds into his yard with the mower. And he questioned me about it last week. He said, do you wash your mowers? I said, I wash them on the weekends. And he said, I think you tracking weeds in my yard. I think you transplanting weeds in my yard. I said, I ain't got no weeds in my yard. I said, I use the same mower. And he said, well, I ain't never had no weeds until this year. And I said, well, I look at it like this, man. I said, if the company you're using is doing what they're supposed to do, it'll kill the weeds. Simple as that. And you're not going to have as many as you have. He's got poa annua everywhere in his yard. And I mean, it is everywhere, guys. His front yard is bad. For starters, he has Bermuda lawn, guys, and he keeps it cut on 4 inches. That's too high for Bermuda. The problem with that is I'm gonna explain poa annua to you. The way that works is 90% of the properties around here have poa annua, but the people that have weed and fertilizer companies, like me, for instance, I have one in my yard. They put out pre-emergent, and they come out and do weed control and fertilizer 8 times a year. And but if you keep your Bermuda cut short enough, sunlight will get to the ground to dry out all the moisture and do what needs to be taken care of. Because Bermuda lawn is not meant to be grown 4 inches high. And there are cases that I have seen where it's absolutely gorgeous when it's that high, but it's none of my customers. I've seen people riding down the road that have tall Bermuda, and it actually looks good. But 9 times out of 10, if you grow Bermuda more than about 2.5, maybe 3 inches tall, it's not going to look good at all. And but you're really supposed to keep it sub 2 inches. And everybody that I have that has Bermuda that is sub 2 inches, they don't have that problem. And I told him that. And but I was just like, dude, I've never had, I don't have weeds in my yard, and I use the exact same mower in your yard that I do mine. I said, I blow every mower off before we load them on the trailer. I said, I don't have time every day to be washing my mowers, but I do wash them on the weekends. I said, it's not me. I said, it's not us that's transplanting weeds into your yard. I mean, just the simple facts. I mean, if your company is doing what they're supposed to do, the pre-emergent should have worked. It should have kept it from coming up. And so I mean, simple as that. And he asked me if I would go ahead and bag it because that's what the company told him he needed done. And they told him it needs to be scalped and bagged, which I'm fine with. But I told him, I said, you know, you didn't want your lawn scalped and bagged to begin with. And when I signed you up for your monthly payment, that's not included. I said, scalping and bagging is extra. I said, I will go ahead and do it this time, get you knocked out, get you taken care of. But I can't do this every time. And not for the same price that I'm doing your lawn for. And so I went ahead and did it. Well, he texted me last night and asked me if I could go ahead and cut his grass real low again and bag it for him. Well, his idea of real low is 2.5 inches. That's not real low. And at least not around here anyway. I mean, it's almost half of what he had at the beginning of the season. He had 4 inches at the beginning of the season, 4 inches of dormant grass. And but now he's wanting it cut down to 2.5 inches. I told him, I said, you really need to go down to 1.5 inches or 2 inches if you're wanting to take care of that poa annua. I said, that ground has got to dry out. It's got to. I said, you've got too much moisture in the ground. He don't want to do it, and it's going to keep being that way. And I told him, I said, it's going to be an extra $60. And he didn't sound too happy about it, but he agreed to it. And if it happens again in 2 weeks, I honestly can see this guy dropping me for it. But it's what it is. I mean, I'm in this to make a profit. Got to pay my helper, and can't be doing extra services for free. But what do you guys do in situations like that, man? You know, occasionally I do pick up customers that I'm not signing them up for monthly services. Like I've got 3 or either 4 right now that are trying to sell their house, and I'm mowing and bagging their lawn, but I'm charging them $90 to do it, just because of the simple fact it takes time to bag lawns. I know you're probably thinking $90, that's crazy. And yes, these are typical cookie cutter lawns. It takes time to bag these lawns, for one, and for two, you got to have somewhere to dump it, man. So yeah, it does cost extra to bag. And that walker on the back on that trailer right there, man, it's not cheap. It was not cheap at all. But just curious, guys, what do you do in these situations? I don't know, man. I've never been blamed for putting weeds in somebody's yard. I mean, all I'm doing is cutting grass, you know, but it is what it is. And yeah, I do know that you can transplant weeds, and that's part of the reason why we blow everything off. But the simple fact of the matter is, especially if you have a weed and fertilizer company, if they're doing what they're supposed to do, it's going to take care of it anyways. But, and also, man, you've got to understand, 90% of every sod farm there's weeds in the sod to begin with. My lawn included, there is weeds in the sod, in the lawn. But the pre-emergent keeps it from coming up. It doesn't necessarily kill it. It keeps those things from germinating and keeps them from coming up every year. So that's the way that works, and that's the way it should be working if they're doing what they're supposed to do. But also, this same weed company, man, I've never used this weed company in my life. I got an email last week, Wednesday I think it was. I got an email from a collection agency saying that I owe this company, this exact same company, $40, and said it was from back in 2015. Well, I've never used this company before, guys. Well, I contacted them, asked them what was going on, told them, I was like, look, I've never used this company before. I said, I've had the same company since I moved in my house. And before I moved in this house, I'd never used anybody. And they said, well, it's under your card and all that. So I don't know what to say about that, but I'm not paying it. And if I got to, I will take it to court and fight it. But I can get my service provider to pull up invoices, and I'll pull up my own invoices from years past and prove to them that I've only used one service provider for weeds and fertilizer since I've been here. And I'm gonna get them to pull up the invoice and show me exactly where it was and when it was. But yeah, I'm not paying anybody no money, man. And evidently I owed the evidently somebody used my card, maybe put in the wrong card number or something like that by mistake, and the service that they provided was $45, and now I owe them close to $100. That's not happening. But anyways, guys, what do y'all do in these situations, man? Somebody got a car or a door hanger on your door, y'all remove it? Just curious. If you do use door hangers, put your name and your logo on there. That way people will know who you are. They ain't got to call or Google you to find out anything about you. And somebody blames you for putting weeds in their yards, man. How do you handle that? I'm just curious. That's a first for me. But I'm gonna hop off here, man. I gotta get myself together and get my thoughts and collect my thoughts before I get this day started. We got a long one ahead of us. And man, I hope y'all have an amazing day. I really do. Hope y'all get out there and crush it. But look, man, till the next one, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holla at y'all. Bye.